So the Make is a mashup of everything I've always been interested in and studied. It's community and economic development, it's engagement, it's movement building, arts and crafts, having fun, meeting new people. But the root of the Make actually is something very personal. So a couple of years ago, my mother was diagnosed with a very complicated illness, and I moved into the hospital with her for a number of weeks to be by her side and keep her company and get stuff done for her. And one day, she looked over at me and she said, "I'm so glad I made you." And my first thought was, uh-oh, I haven't made anything yet. And I said that out loud, and she said, "Well, you better get on that." And so I did. I took this step, and it took about 3 months to think about how to pull together all the things that I have experience in, and also all the things that I want to learn more about. I'm really excited to be at the Emerging Leader Labs, not just because we are trying to architect a space in the gift economy that makes sense to multiple practitioners. I think that's a really Vineyard way of looking at the future. Placemaking that's accessible to diversity. Having that consideration on the front end is maverick. My sense of these spaces like futurism or social entrepreneurship or social innovation isn't one where I see a lot of diversity, global diversity, gender diversity, orientation diversity, function diversity. So I'm really excited about that. It's diverse and I appreciate it. I'm also really interested selfishly because while the Make includes a gift economy through service, where the makers are making something and they're buying a ticket to generate revenue. So the part I forgot to say was that I forgot to say this. So what the Make is it's a model that generates revenue and resources for communities that need to get things done. And the reason why this is necessary is in this recession economy where federal funding to nonprofits and community business organizations is ever decreasing, we have to ask ourselves a question. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, how are we going to continue to get things done in a way in our towns and cities, and who's going to pay for that? So the idea here is if you are part of the population that writes a check to the ASPCA or a breast cancer walk or LGBT fundraiser, then you might be interested in having an experience which immerses you in your philanthropy. So basically the Make is the embodiment of philanthropy, where you come with your check in hand, and then I guess you come with your hands to make something. And I'm hoping to tap into this nostalgic space where we were once all in shop class or in the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts or the Eagle Scouts or 4-H, where we actually made things. And so I thought, what would that look like for adults outside of grade school? So I tapped into the craft space and the making space. And I guess you could even call it the honeydew list space. That list of things that you really need to get to that you kind of don't. And I tried to build my models that were to be episodic and discrete with clear beginnings, middles, and ends so that people could connect to the work, so that it wouldn't be contiguous and sort of open-ended, so that actually there would be a sense of accomplishment in the end. And you could say, I made that. What I'm pushing for is for people to say, I made that for you. So it makes total sense that I come to an incubator that is trying to grow itself in the gift economy. And since I've been here, I have been pursuing a lot of leadership training. And it's been really uncomfortable. And that's how I know it's really valuable. All the things that I've been waiting to learn that I've been avoiding, I'm right in the middle of here. And it's been a transformative process. And what's very interesting is as I'm in this transformative process, as a leader, I begin to understand that everything I really need to know about being a leader lives inside of me, but it's been locked. And that's a kind of interesting mirror, because I think that everything that needs to happen to make communities robust are locked. So there's this very interesting mirroring going on, or a synergy, or a partnering, or a coupling. I'm grateful for it because it makes me feel less like I'm falling down the rabbit hole. I find that there are stronger connections than I ever believed, outside of that story that I told you about my mom, between who I am and what I'm making. And really, that's what I hope each participant feels when they are a maker for those 3 to 5 hours. There's a difference between communion and synchronicity. So when I hear "be the change you want to see in the world," I wish there was a few more words, and those words would be "with a bunch of other people." Because I think what happens when you make the effort, when you sort of embrace the discipline to be the best you can be in company, you see your efforts mirrored back to you, and you're less attached to the consequence of your efforts, and you become, it's like a muscle, right? You become more vascular, or more able to live in whatever higher purpose you've selected for yourself. If you do this by yourself, it might work. I don't know. You could be a superhero. But for the rest of us, communion could be a very handy thing. I believe that communion is a tool. And I'm curious why we're not leveraging it all the time, everywhere, for everyone. So that's what I'm here to experience, and I am. And that's what my project hopes to grow into, an actual social enterprise. And I think I'm done, right? Am I done? Okay.